Good afternoon, it's Lynn here from the Learn English Network, and this is Talk to the Hand. And we're going to have a very relaxed session today, bit of fun, post Halloween. Nothing to do with Halloween though. I did look up some Halloween tricks that have been filmed for 2017. Half of them looked fake to me, so I think that kind of thing has almost had its day, I would say, because people are faking it now. So I don't know if you agree with me or not, but yes, the YouTube stuff out there, all some of it's funny, some of it looks as if everybody was in on the prank or the Halloween trick, and they were just filming it to go on YouTube. There's not much point in doing that, so let's do something a bit different. And in honour of Eleanor here, we're going to look at proper English versus American English. So we're going. Now, that's not my words, okay? Oh dear. Not my words, okay? This is not in my opinion. They're all English is English. There are many different varieties of English, many different pedigrees. But one of my favourite comedians at the moment is Trevor Noah. I don't know if you've heard of him. I'm reading his book at the moment, Born Illegal, which is brilliant. I've only just started it, so I'll let you know on the forum how I get on, but it's a good start. Anyhow, he's very funny. He's a stand-up comedian, born in South Africa, living in America, and if you've never watched his take on the news on Comedy Central, you're missing something. He's very astute, very clever, plays with words well, but he also does the circuit. Okay? He does the circuit. That means he's a stand-up comedian. He goes out there, stands on stage, tries to make people laugh. I think it must be one of the toughest jobs. I can't imagine myself doing it. Standing on stage, bad enough. Trying to make people like me enough to laugh with me rather than at me? Ooh, no, I don't think so. So we're going to use the same technique we've used before. We'll watch the video together. I'll give you the link. So I'll be muting and then unmuting the sound so I don't get into trouble with copyright. So if anybody happens to come along and watch this video, when it goes quiet, just watch the video from the link I will provide in comments, okay? I'll give you the link to our favourite sharing platform, My Circle, okay? So here it is. No, there's no need to mute yourself. You're fine, Eleanor. It's actually the sound from the video I will mute. So if you want to say something during the video, please do. Just say, stop, I didn't get that. What did he just say? Oh, what does that mean? That's absolutely fine. Okay, but I won't be broadcasting the sound. I can't. Last week I could because it was TED, and TED are really good. They allow you to share. But a lot of people, there's no sharing. No sharing. Don't share. No. Sharing
Uh,
bad.
by the way,
Oh,
I
yeah.
have noticed that Jim Fowler gave also a talk on TED. This is this mathematician who taught calculus on Coursera. He's very good and funny.
Oh, is he? Okay. Well, share.
Yeah.
Share it on the video. Share it on the science and tech
Okay.
part of the
Yeah, I
forum.
will do it.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
No. Especially if he's
he's a
funny.
very funny, a very good lecturer,
Awesome.
and yeah, he explains things very well to math proof people like me. So he's very good.
Awesome. Okay. Well, welcome to Eleanor and Serendipity in in the my circle. I like the use of serendipity as a username. Excellent. Um, Hubby's got a new account on Vikings called Triumph and Despair. I'm not sure which one he's feeling at the moment, but I'll tell you later, depending on whether we win CBC or not. Okay, so the title of the video, not my title, is Proper English versus American English. And again, we will watch it together in my circle, okay? So let us begin. Hang on.
Oh man, you missed so many things from.
Okay, so what is he what's he talking about? Where is he? What's he telling us about?
To tell about his adventures in New York, in particular about his conversation in a shop with an extremely expensive shoe, $3,000. And yeah, this was an American answer. Do you want them? Yeah. And he said, in my culture, it's thank you, no.
Yes,
That
which we
is
know
very
it's not.
posh, yeah.
I mean, that's one of the nice things about speaking other languages. You can really have fun with people who don't speak the language. And if you say something and they ask you what it means, you can say, oh, it means this or it means that, you know. And I've had that happen to me. Um, not to me, I mean, how would you know? I don't know if it's happened to me in German. I don't know if any of my German teachers have told me a load of rubbish about particular words and then I've misused them in my life. But I know English teachers who've done that. I can honestly say, hand on heart, I've never done it to you guys knowingly. But once, a student of mine asked me, I was offering coffee, and she said, oh, yes, but could I have castrated coffee? And I went, whatty coffee? And she'd been told by her English teacher that decaffeinated coffee was known as castrated coffee. Yes, which of course is not true. It's decaf or decaffeinated coffee. Now, it was quite funny, but in the wrong place, for example, at a job interview, if your prospective boss were to offer you a coffee to say, well, I'll have castrated coffee, please, you might not get the job. I thought that was mean, so I've never knowingly done it. But he's used a word that's actually a swear word, and when the shopkeeper asks him what it means, he says, "Oh, it means yes, but no, thank you." Now, have you ever, or would you ever consider buying a pair of shoes for $3,000?
No, I couldn't afford them.
No, if you could
But I
afford them.
have
Now, let's do an
no,
if. What if you could afford them? Would you buy them?
no, but it's, that's simple. I don't need such shoes. Usually, I buy in the shows in Eichmann, and they are okay. So
Yeah.
incredibly less expensive.
Do you think $3,000 is expensive?
Not to me, very. And as I told you, it depends on what kind of shoes it is, but
Well,
I
I
would rather.
personally would say it's expensive for a pair of shoes. Not expensive for a car, not expensive for a house, cheap for
Yeah.
a house, cheap for a car, but for a pair of shoes, really? What about you, Shiny? Do you think $3,000 is expensive for a pair of shoes?
Yes,
Yeah.
very expensive.
But you remember we have watched this video
Yes.
about ice cream, and I don't remember this most expensive, how much this most expensive ice cream was, but it was a fortune.
It
It
was.
was shocking. So
Yeah. So it looks like the world's going that way, though. That if you put a really expensive label on something, people value it more. I think that's very true. If things are cheap, people don't value them. If things are free, people really don't value them. If things are
if
expensive, everybody wants one. It must be good if it costs $3,000. What do you think,
um,
Shiny? They are not shoes for wearing. What do you think they're for? Looking at?
Yeah, because people buy it for just watching them, like a decoration.
Just to look at in your
The,
shoes. The
there is
Imelda
a super
Marcos. Yeah.
star in Japan. She likes to buy those how to say luxurious
luxury items.
luxury
Luxury or
but
deluxe. You can
the
say
luxury.
deluxe as well. Deluxe this,
Oh,
deluxe that, which means luxurious, yeah? But
yeah.
I'm not sure if can shoes be a luxury item. They're pretty. I mean, you need something on your feet in the modern age. Running around in your bare feet is probably not the best idea nowadays. Broken glass on the floor, dog poo everywhere. It's not very nice, is it? So I don't consider shoes a luxury item.
But I would disagree. I remember we have watched together an extremely impracticable shows.
Yep,
Uh, it was simply impossible to walk in them.
that's
They
right.
were very high, just for decoration.
Yeah,
It's not for
decorative, I
walking.
would say. Rather
Yeah,
than luxury, I'd say decorative. Decorative shoes.
I see.
I mean, I remember, can you remember that woman, Imelda Marcos? She hit the news, I think it was Imelda Marcos's shoe. She hit the news when there was the toppling of the regime in the Philippines. Okay, and her husband had ruled the country for years. And then when the regime toppled, when it fell, they discovered her shoes. And she had more than 1,000 pairs of shoes. How many feet do you have? Maybe she was a millipede. One for every foot. Can you remember her? Imelda Marcos?
No, Marcos, no, I don't.
Oh, it hit the news here big time because it was so excessive. And now there is actually there is a museum somewhere that shows these shoes off to the public, where you can actually see how crazy some people can get. Um, but yeah, I mean, really, lady, get a life. And that's 1,000 pairs she had. And I think they were like Jimmy Choos. There's also a pair of shoes which is basically double the price of that particular pair of shoes that Trevor Noah was looking at. $6,000 a pair. So $3,000 per shoe.
Uh,
Yeah, shiny?
I know there's a brand name. I don't know how to pronounce it. Louboutin. Louboutin.
Oh, I don't know that one.
It
It's probably out of my price range. This is just a basic pair of Nikes, as far as I can tell. But carry on, Shiny.
It's very expensive, and its shoes at least uh 30,000.
No
Yes.
way.
I heard those stars why they wear them because they take it. I don't mean that I understand, but they did say it that they take it as a like jewelry.
Okay.
So
Wow.
they don't wear them to walk. They wear it for just decoration. They don't want to ruin their shoes. They don't wear them for working, walking.
For walking. Okay. What's the point then? I mean, I don't understand it personally. I don't understand $3,000, but now we're going into crazy money. I've just looked up the $30,000 shoes, and I've found another pair of basketball shoes that lace themselves, allegedly. Can you not lace your own shoes and save a bit of money and do something decent with it? But there you go. There's Kobe Bryant bought a pair, I think. There you go. What do I know? Let's have a look. Extravagant. Oh, yes, that's the ones. Yep, that's it. I
Yeah,
remember. Oh,
something of
gosh.
that kind. Not exactly the same, but it was this
That
genre.
sort of thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, in some way, that's a work of art. I can
Yeah,
almost
I
get my
really
right.
like it, but
Yeah,
you can't walk in it or
can't walk in
somehow
them.
like sliding.
Yeah, you can't walk in them. Now, these Air Mags, if they're meant to be based on Back to the Future, the film, and maybe if they floated, I'd buy a pair because $30,000 for a pair of floating shoes. Oh yeah, I haven't got $30,000, but I would be tempted. But for a pair of what look like bog standard Nike shoes, I don't get it. How much was your last pair of shoes? Can you remember? How much did you pay?
Uh,
Labutin. Oh, thank
I
you,
remember
Shiny.
it was roughly 100 zloty, also divided by 4 to get euro roughly.
So about 25 euros.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I think the last pair of I've got a pair of house slippers on at the moment. They cost me 12 euros 50, but they're just little slip-on ballet style. Now, when did I last buy a pair? I guess my walking shoes. I tend to pay quite a bit for my walking shoes. About 85 euros. But I wear them a lot. I do a lot of walking, as you know, and they are basically my
Yeah,
shoes. I
yeah,
have one
you
pair.
need
Yeah,
comfortable shoes for walking.
you
Yeah,
do.
that's
Yeah.
okay.
I have
And
tried cheaper
sometimes,
ones, never worked out for me.
no. No.
895,000 euros. Shiny, what are you doing to me? Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Christian Louboutin. Oh no, no, it's not. Oh, it's all right. 895 euros. Even so, way out of my league. I just could not do it. I couldn't bring myself to pay over I mean, it kills me to pay 85 euros for a pair of walking shoes, but they are my shoes. Honestly, go into my cupboard, you'll find two pairs of boots, one pair of walking shoes, and a pair of slip-ons for if I actually do anything that requires a dress. That's it. Not 1,000 pairs. I've got 2 feet. I don't need a lot. Oh, I have got, of course, a pair of walking sandals and a pair of nice sandals for if you ever catch me wearing a dress in the summer. But that's it. How many pairs of shoes have you got then, Elinor, in your cupboard? Are you an Imelda Marcos?
You're shiny.
You, Elinor.
Uh, it's difficult for me to answer because I'm not very fond of throwing things away. So I have very old shoes in my collection. I'm like my grandfather, but I don't walk in them anymore. And for example, I have two pairs for autumn, one and old, one pair is an else, and I usually use it for shopping, things like that, and one is new. So if I want to be elegant, I wear them. So
So for best, what we'd say for best. One
for best,
pair is
yeah,
for best.
yeah.
What about shiny? Shiny, how many pairs of shoes do you possess?
I have lots of shoes, but that's because I don't throw them out. I mean, they are old. I don't wear them. I just didn't throw them.
You're heading
To,
towards being Imelda Marcos, shiny. You
yeah.
don't wear them, but you keep them anyway.
No, no, because it's just don't like to put them in trash can just like that.
Okay, so you don't want to throw them. You don't want them to go to waste. Well, come to Germany because in Germany you put you put a pair into a bag, okay, and you put them into the shoe container, and they get recycled or given to charity. Okay, so whenever I get rid of a pair, whenever I buy a pair, I get rid of a pair. I do that with all my clothes. Buy one, get rid of one. If you don't want to get rid of any, don't buy a new one. That's strict. I've got one wardrobe, um, and hubby's got one wardrobe, and that's it. We're not buying more wardrobes for more stuff. So if he needs a new shirt, fine, but he has to come home and throw one out. Into the recycling, of course, into the clothing bank. You also have your mum's shoe. Not. I also have my mum's shoes. Okay. No, my mum's stuff all went to charity after she passed away. So everything went out. Nothing got saved, especially not shoes. Um, so everything went over to charity, and I would expect the same thing to happen to my stuff. I wouldn't think any of my relatives would want to wear my clothes or shoes because really they're so casual. There's nothing in there that somebody would go, "Ooh, that's lovely." But shiny, for the future, when you buy a new pair, look at the pairs you have and decide which pair to get rid of.
No, I mean I don't buy new shoes for a long time. I mean,
I
it's quite different.
have. Hang on. I haven't bought.
Yes.
Yes, any. I haven't bought any shoes for. There's the clue. A long time. Okay.
I really hate myself speaking in front of you because I I I can't come up with word, and even I came up with words. It's no, I don't know, clumsy. I
Not at all. Not at all. That's why you're here. Um, the reason that I correct you is because one day you're just going to use that without thinking about it. Okay. Now I can
I no,
stop
no,
correcting you. I can stop if you need the confidence of thinking
no,
that
no,
you're
no,
doing
I,
everything
I'm,
correctly.
I'm happy that you correct me. I mean, maybe just lack of confidence
It
in
is.
front of you, because
I'm
I
so
like you,
scary.
and I try to speak like you. I try
Don't
to speak.
speak like you.
No, no,
Just
because I like a British accent.
oh, that's all
I
right.
watch
But
videos, but
worry less about how you sound. Worry less about what you say. Just speak. That's the thing. I'm not scary, am I? Eleanor, am I terrifying?
I'm sorry to tell you, you really are. You see, I stammer. I always stammer when I'm about to talk to you, and you have certainly
OMG.
noticed. Yeah.
Okay, that's a new one for me. I never really. I'm kind of
Yeah.
cool with that actually. I like the idea of being terrifying.
You are like these girls from these Halloween stories from the last times.
Well, I
Our
do.
from the last.
I do
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
think, should I correct? And I don't correct everything, by the way. I let things slide because as long as I've understood. But if I hear something again and again, then I will correct it. And I have noticed in some of my German lessons, some of the teachers correct the pronunciation and correct the grammar. Other ones don't. Because I'll hear somebody else saying something, I think, well, that's not right, and I know it's not right, but they don't correct it. And I always wonder, when do I correct? When don't? It's a very thin line between correcting and helping, and correcting and making people stammer when they speak with you.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I have noticed that Germans are very polite. They listen to you, even if you make mistakes, and
Yeah,
then
but these are German teachers.
I was inclined to I see.
I'm
So
paying for them to correct my pronunciation. I'm paying for these
exactly, it's better
lessons.
to know what's incorrect for your good. I think.
Everybody's good enough to talk to everybody, Shiny. Don't think that somehow you've got to be good enough to actually talk to me. That's silly. That would be silly. Just talk. It's only me. As I always say to people, it's only me. Okay, let's carry on. Let's go back to my circle and we'll carry on from where we left off. Okay, bear with me a second. I'm in the wrong
Can I
video.
say? Can I say last thing?
Hmm.
You just mentioned that about that charity. If you don't want to keep those items, you can give it to charity. But uh, it's very different from here because uh, we don't how to say we don't want people. I mean, they don't want us to give people to those items you used. If you want to give them to charity, you have to give them unused.
New.
I mean, new,
Okay.
new.
Okay.
It's
Well,
new, right?
in I guess it's a cultural thing. Maybe it's great because the people in your country actually don't need the second-hand shoes, or but in certainly in Europe, and when they get taken to other countries, it's a difficult one because should they encourage the industry to create new ones, or should they swamp the market? It's a fine balance. You shouldn't swamp the market with second-hand goods because it can destroy the local economy. But at the end of the day, these things do get recycled, reused, and given to uh, charity. So I'm kind of positive for it. Having grown up as a second-hand child, I have no qualms about wearing second-hand clothing, and I'm the third, remember, of three daughters. So being the third, I was used to hand-me-downs. But maybe it's good that in your culture there's no need to give away second-hand clothing. Um, but I
No,
would
no,
look
they
into the options of finding somewhere where they will accept them and recycle them, maybe. But it's interesting. Thank you. It's a good point as well. When what cultures are second-hand clothing? Where is it acceptable? Remember, in Germany, there's a huge recycling opportunities in Germany. Everything is recycled, from plastic to
Here.
paper, cloth,
Mhm.
shoes, glasses, even corks from wine bottles are recycled. There are separate collection areas for corks from wine bottles. So it's a slightly different culture, maybe. Eleanor, you were saying?
Second-hand clothes are very popular here, and they are from the West usually. And very often you can buy something very, very cheaply and in a good condition, and no problem.
Yep,
But
absolutely.
I wouldn't wear shoes, because of how to say this.
Foot fungus.
Yeah. That's what I wanted. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's called athlete's foot. Athlete's foot is often called athlete's foot. You're more likely to catch that at a gym than from second-hand shoes.
I
I
see.
know somebody who
Uh-huh.
does buy and wear second-hand shoes because she likes expensive shoes, but she cannot afford them. But she will go round the charity shops and the second-hand, because charity shops you give the clothes, second-hand shops you sell the clothes through the shop. They take a percentage, you get the rest of the money. Okay, and she will go around the second-hand shops and the charity shops looking for labelled shoes, Jimmy Choos, etc. And sometimes she will buy them and then she'll resell them on eBay for more money, because people out there will collect designer shoes. And I think it's like Shiny says, to look at, just to have them in the wardrobe. Or smell. Maybe they're just smelly feet
I
fetishists.
I have a cousin like that, but she adores buying things for the labels. And last time I saw her new cloth. It's very famous, but it was by a very famous designer, Eva Minge, and just a white one with some, how to say it, zirconias. And I thought I could do it on my own, because at primary school I was quite, yeah.
Just gluing them on. Just gluing them on.
Yeah, because I spent afternoons, and I still have my work. Of course, I have forgotten a lot. I mean the techniques.
It sounds like you just need to get out there, get yourself a glue gun and repurpose your shoes, make them all
Yeah,
blingy. Okay, let's carry on. Pop over back to my circle and we will continue with Trevor Noah's story, okay?
For instance, in America, they don't say words the same way we do, even though they speak English. Like, they don't say orange, they say orange. They don't say New Orleans, they say New Orleans. They don't say forever, they say forever. You know, even words change. That's the craziest thing for me.
What is he mentioning in this part of the video?
imitates the American accent,
Yeah.
but there are many American accents, and
Not
they
so
differ.
much the accent, it's actually the pronunciation.
New
Orleans.
Orleans,
Yeah.
instead of New Orleans,
New Orleans becomes New Orleans.
Orleans. I can't.
Ever. Forever.
Yeah.
And it's true, in American, a lot of the words are elongated. The pronunciation is elongated. It's the drawl, as I call it, an American drawl. I don't know if you've heard of that word, drawl.
Of course, I have from you.
Ah, yeah. But
Yeah.
it's that slow way of speaking with
Yeah.
very long vowels.
True.
Long vowels. And it's kind of
Italian
nice.
drawl.
I like it. Yeah, an
Yeah.
American drawl. In fact, a drawl, the word, drawl. It's a bit of a drawly word because it's got that long vowel sound. But then he mentions words change at the end. He says words change. What do you think he means? The meanings of words change.
There are many examples like that. For example, yard.
Yep.
It's quite dangerous.
When somebody mentions to me a yard, I
Yeah.
have concrete or a measurement. So it could be a yard
But they
as
mean
in
yard.
the measurement, or it could be a yard as in a concreted area outside. And quite often Americans
if they
mean the garden, grass, not concrete. Nice garden with flowers and roses growing in it. But when they say yard to me, I get this concrete brick place where it's a bit miserable, depressing. And they actually mean a lovely cottage garden. Maybe not a cottage garden, but a formal garden. Can you think of anything, Shiny, that's different in American English to British English? In meaning? Fall,
Get
autumn?
to.
Yeah. Sorry, carry on,
Uh,
Shiny.
get through. Get through.
Get through.
I remember that uh, which one? I get through in American, maybe it's in American English, it means that you just over, you're
Okay.
done.
Okay, we're finished. Okay. Got you. Got you. I mean, we're getting through this lesson. I can get through a cake in half an hour. That can also mean in British English.
But there is something which is very spread, this administration in the sense of government, and unfortunately, it's also popular in French and in Polish in reference with American government.
The
The
administration. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, administration or administracja, but in fact, it's simply the government, and it's Americanism. But I don't think it's possible to eradicate it. I have watched a video with Bernard Cerchilini. Yeah, I'm not sure if this name is correct. Merci, Professor. He discusses. In Polish, it's just the same.
Okay.
We
Interesting.
we have a word administracja, administration, but it means, for example, public administration, offices, and so on. It's not. It has nothing to
It's
do
not
with
so bound in with
government.
government. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Well,
but
actually, funnily,
yeah.
Shiny used a word earlier in this session. I think it was this session. Yes, it was. It was about shoes. And she said, I don't like to throw them in the trash can.
Trash, of course. Yeah, bin.
Yeah, the bin. You see, I wouldn't say trash can. Now, being a Brit and being influenced by American culture in film and television, I knew what you meant, Shiny. But to me, a can is something you put Coca-Cola in. So trash can, we would say the rubbish bin, yeah, or the bin if we wanted to be like, as we like to do, shorten everything. Yeah, exactly. Good. Well done. Well done.
I'm
Now,
trying
if
to be
you want,
cautious.
if you would like to look at some more, and there are so many, there's a short list, and I will say short list on the website of lots of different. Some of them are dangerous. When it's dangerous, I do highlight it with an exclamation mark. So some of the differences can be embarrassing. Some of them are spelling differences that make no real difference to the way it's pronounced, but some, the meaning is completely different in English. So trousers and pants are my favourite. When Americans tell me about their pants, I still find it highly amusing. Why are you telling me about your underwear? But I understand that they're not. But it's still funny.
And knickers.
Yeah, knickers, underwear, pants. It is very difficult for people learning this language. What English do you decide to learn? There's even international English now, just to throw people, make them think they're learning international English. The best thing is to learn English, and that means expose yourself to all the different Englishes out there, including Trevor Noahs English. South African English is very rich in different meanings and different ways of expressing themselves. Just not a world power, but if you were to ever meet a South African, there are some very interesting South African English words, and we've already looked at Australian English words, and they
Yeah,
are
farmer and
unique.
rabbit.
Yeah, especially when it comes to kind of slang, dialect, colloquialisms. They have their own vocabulary, as Trevor Noah just said. And South African English, not standard English, but very rich and very enriching, if you like. There's some very weird words in South African English. because it's a mixture of sort of German and English as well. So aber is a child, and
Oh.
yeah,
Mm. Oh
uh,
la la.
absolutely. And bagel, which I think of as being a bread dough object, is actually um, a man who's sort of too well groomed, somebody who does their hair all the time and dresses nicely all the time. Um, biltong. Biltong is a word that's come over from South Africa into the English language. That's dried bushmeat. Biltong. Salted meat, like beef jerky. American would say beef jerky. A South African would say biltong. Oh, you mean biltong. And biscuit. Yeah, not cookie, biscuit. So the South Africans know what a biscuit is. It's not a cookie. Americans think a biscuit is something you give to your dog. Okay? They call human biscuits, or biscuits for human consumption, cookies. Whereas cookie is a specific kind of biscuit for me. A big, chocolatey, doughy biscuit is a cookie. Everything else is a biscuit. And the South Africans would agree with me, which means I'm happy. Okay, let's go back to like chips. Yes, chips and crisps. Oh, a nightmare in Germany because they insist on calling them chips and they're crisps. And I get excited when I see chips on the menu and then I realise, they mean crisps.
Unfortunately, yes,
Yep,
it's the same here. Chips in the American sense,
yep. It's
and they can buy
so
them. I don't
disappointing.
like it. Yeah, but if you
Chips. Oh, no, crisps.
fish and chips, it's the safest method to remember the difference. I think of
It
every
is.
fish.
Because
Yeah,
nobody would have fish and crisps.
yeah, exactly.
That would be horrible. Okay, let's carry on with the video. Okay, so
Taco is
you don't know taco. You've never had taco.
no, no, no.
You've never had Mexican
I have.
food, Eleanor. So yeah, napkin, serviette. But of course, in Britain, napkin is a napkin. But in South Africa, napkin is a nappy, or what the Americans would call a diaper. So when the guy said to him, "You want a napkin with that?" He heard, "You want a nappy with that." And he goes, "What for?" He says, "For the mess." So of course he's thinking about the other end mess, not the mess from the taco.
Yeah.
I mean, tacos are messy to eat, by the way. Taco, I think there's a thing called Taco Bell. I might be wrong. Um, but Taco Bell are a sort of a chain that does um, tacos. Okay, I'm trying to find a napkin for you. Not a napkin, a taco for you. Okay, because I've had taco. So let's ask Shiny. Shiny, have you ever had taco?
Yes, it's like a
Aha.
big potato chips. Can I
Yeah,
say
but it's
that?
right. It's folded, isn't it? Quite often it's folded
Yes,
over. So I'm
yes,
just trying to
because
find a
the
nice photograph of one. Okay. Doesn't. Okay, this is okay. It's not perfect, but let me just do a quick screen share for you. Let me bring this over here, and just for you, Eleanor, we'll do a quick screen share.
Yeah, I would be very grateful. I'm expanding on my
Yeah,
knowledge.
absolutely. Culinary knowledge.
I see. I haven't eaten anything like that, but it looks tasty.
Oh, it is. Mexican food is fantastic. I mean, truly, just delicious. Honestly. I mean, I love Mexican food. And the taco, you can buy taco sets where you can make up your own, and it should be spicy and hot. It can be vegetarian, or it can be meat with mince and stuff. It's very flexible what you can put in there, but it must be spicy and served. Here, that you can see it's served with limes. Yeah. But yeah, tacos. Wow, you don't know what you're missing. Awesome. So there are some lovely websites out there with Mexican food recipes. And I think, do you like spicy food, Eleanor?
No, I don't, not particularly, but it's tasty too sometimes.
Okay,
But
well, you
I
don't have
wouldn't
to
eat it
make it
on a regular time.
hot. You don't have to make it
Yeah.
hot, hot, hot. You know, it does contain chili. That's the only thing. But you don't. You can do it to taste, especially if you're cooking um, for yourself. But there's some good Mexican recipes on the BBC. Okay, so I'll share them. I'll share the link with you, and you can maybe. Taco means octopus in Japanese. Really? Wow. Oh, thank you for warning me if I ever go to Japan, because I don't eat octopus.
Yeah.
And if I saw taco, I might think I knew what I was talking about. And then I'd end up with an octopus and I'd cry because I think octopuses are beautiful. They shouldn't be, they're not food. But yeah, tacos, burrito, tortilla, they're just fantastic. Salsa, enchilada, um, nachos. Yeah, fantastic food. Love it. Lots of Mexican restaurants around the world. And maybe, I don't know, is there one in your country? Um, Mexican restaurant?
Eh, Here are quite a lot of Mexican restaurants. I went with my mom once,
But what did you
many
eat?
years. I don't remember.
Ah, okay.
It was something with they thought of um, a cake, something like that. They
Sounds
thought
like a
of bread.
burrito. Burrito,
Yeah,
probably. More of a bready Wrapping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
it was good too. Yeah, but I don't know
Well,
if
your
it was simply
homework,
Mexican.
your homework is to. I've just found you a list of uh, Mexican restaurants from TripAdvisor in your area. Your homework is
Ah,
to
yeah,
go there and
yeah.
try tacos. Okay.
Okay.
Tell them not too spicy. Just say, oh, not spicy. Um, but that's your homework. You can come back and tell us about it. Do you go out to Mexican restaurants,
Mm.
Shiny?
Manzana. Oh,
Yeah, I don't know if there is any Mexican restaurant, but we make it make some food like it at home.
Okay. Well, I'm just looking. There's 10 best Mexican restaurants in Tokyo, 10 best Mexican restaurants in Yokohama. Um, Tokyo and Yokohama are the only ones I can find at the moment. So you might have to go to Tokyo to try it. Yes, I know. I know. I think that's a little bit more traditional, isn't it? So um, let's just try. Oh, there you go. TripAdvisor comes to the rescue. Here you go. And the nice thing about Mexican restaurants is it used to be one of my favourite foods because it was so easy to get vegetarian. Okay, it's very meat based, but they do a lot of vegetarian options as well. So, and with the guacamole and the sour cream, yum, yum, yum. And you've even got an Hola Tacos bar. Yay! And it ranges from excellent to terrible. So you pays your money, you takes your choice. Actually, we quite often buy these El Paso, Old El Paso. It's just um, a brand that basically specializes in Mexican food. And I don't buy the mince or anything like, or the salsa. Salsa's so easy to make. So is guacamole. So is sour cream. So what I'll do is I normally buy their tacos or their burritos or their fajitas, the actual wrapping. So you just buy that, buy some fillings, buy some chilies, buy some garlic, buy some onions and tomatoes, make a salsa, get some sour cream. Off you've got a Mexican meal, and it's a lovely thing to share as well. It's a nice thing you can do as a banquet, as a sharing plate kind of thing. So, but yes, try and have some Mexican food this week. And
I
napkin
have
or
just
serviette is
discovered in the
fine,
city
just not with
center.
South Africans. Okay, napkin it's okay with an American or a Brit. Serviette is okay with with a Brit, not an American. Americans tend to not know what a serviette is, um, but in Britain, napkin or serviette is fine, but not with the South African. Don't use napkin. Would you like a napkin? Why would I need a napkin? For the mess. I'm a grown man. I can control myself. Okay, I'll share the link with you for the whole video so you can watch it again in your own time. Okay. Uh, Eleanor, you were saying something.
I have just discovered there is in the city center there is a taco restaurant.
There
It's
you
funny, yes,
go.
at Poselska Street. But I have just read that you have to wait quite a long to get your food ready.
Be careful about reading the
Reviews.
reviews
Yeah.
because sometimes it's written by the guy who owns the taco restaurant down the road. I mean, I prefer to make my own mind up by going to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
place and
that's
have.
true. It
Oh
may be.
yes.
Yeah. It's not wise to trust everybody. Yeah,
I
that's
tend to not trust the fives or the ones, anything in between. When I read a review, I also look at the person reviewing it. I look at their profile. How many reviews have they written? And if it's a lot, maybe they're being paid to do it. They travel a lot. If it's a few, I'm more likely to trust them. If it's only one, I just presume that they're a rival.
Yeah, sometimes there is competition, and this is dishonest
Yep.
way to. Uh,
It is an issue with all these review sites, all of them. People lie, people try to um, denigrate what other people are doing in order to get a competitive advantage. It's happened to me, believe it or not, which is very amusing because I don't even charge for this, but there you go. People are funny. People are very funny. Okay, so thank you so much for coming to the session. I hope you enjoyed it, and you at least now know about Trevor Noah. He's great. I really like him, and his accent is great as well because it's a mixture of South African, British, and American. So he's fun to listen to as well. Oh, I am talking. Yeah, I am. Can you not hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, but
Okay.
I
Okay, okay, maybe a bit of lag, But anyhow, that's the end of today's session. If you have any ideas or requests for a topic for the future, let me know join us, and I will take them all on board. Next week, different topic. If you let me know what you'd like to do, that's fine. If not, I'll think up something, and we will continue with our sessions. Okay? All right. No, thank you for coming, and I hope you enjoyed the My Circle function as well. I like the fact that we can do this again rather than me talking all the time. You too. Have a nice rest of your day. See you. Bye. Okay. So, what is he? What's he talking about? Where is he? What's he telling us about? No, especially if he's
he's a
funny.
very funny, a very good lecturer,
Awesome.
and he explains things very well to math proof people like me. So he's very good.
Awesome. Okay. Well, welcome to Eleanor and Serendipity in in the my circle. I like the use of serendipity as a username. Excellent. Um, Hubby's got a new account on Vikings called Triumph and Despair. I'm not sure which one he's feeling at the moment, but I'll tell you later, depending on whether we win CVC or not. Okay, so the title of the video, not my title, is Proper English versus American English. And again, we will watch it together in my circle, okay? So let us begin. Hang on.
Oh man, you missed so many things from.
Good afternoon, it's Lynn here from the Learn English Network, and this is Talk to the Hand. And we're going to have a very relaxed session today, bit of fun, post-Halloween. Nothing to do with Halloween though. I did look up some Halloween tricks that have been filmed for 2017. Half of them looked fake to me, so I think that kind of thing has almost had its day, I would say, because people are faking it now. So I don't know if you agree with me or not, but yes, the YouTube stuff out there, some of it's funny, some of it looks as if everybody was in on the prank or the Halloween trick, and they were just filming it to go on YouTube. There's not much point in doing that, so let's do something a bit different. And in honour of Eleanor here, we're going to look at proper English versus American English. So we're going... Now that's not my words, okay? Ah dear. Not my words, okay? This is not in my opinion. They're all... English is English. There are many different varieties of English, many different pedigrees. But one of my favourite comedians at the moment is Trevor Noah. I don't know if you've heard of him. I'm reading his book at the moment, Born Illegal, which is brilliant. I've only just started it, so I'll let you know on the forum how I get on, but it's a good start. Anyhow, he's very funny. He's a stand-up comedian, born in South Africa, living in America, and if you've never watched his take on the news on Comedy Central, you're missing something. He's very astute, very clever, plays with words well, but he also does the circuit. Okay, he does the circuit. That means he's a stand-up comedian. He goes out there, stands on stage, tries to make people laugh. I think it must be one of the toughest jobs. I can't imagine myself doing it. Standing on stage, bad enough. Trying to make people like me enough to laugh with me rather than at me? Ooh, no, I don't think so. So we're going to use the same technique we've used before. We'll watch the video together. I'll give you the link. So I'll be muting and then unmuting the sound so I don't get into trouble with copyright. So if anybody happens to come along and watch this video, when it goes quiet, just watch the video from the link I will provide in comments, okay? I'll give you the link to our favourite sharing platform, My Circle, okay? So here it is. No, there's no need to mute yourself. You're fine, Eleanor. It's actually the sound from the video I will mute. So if you want to say something during the video, please do. Just say, stop, I didn't get that. What did he just say? Oh, what does that mean? That's absolutely fine. Okay, but I won't be broadcasting the sound. I can't. Last week I could because it was TED, and TED are really good. They allow you to share. But a lot of people, there's no sharing. No sharing. Don't share. No. Sharing bad.
By the way, I have noticed that Jim Fowler gave also a talk on TED. This is this mathematician who taught calculus on Coursera. He's very good and funny.
Oh, is he? Okay. Well, share.
Yeah.
Share it on the video. Share it on the science and tech
Okay.
part of
Yeah,
the forum.
I will do it.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.